Hey, it's Chuck Armstrong from Loudwire Nights, and this is Loudwire Nights On Demand. It is always a pleasure hanging with Jesse James Dupree, good friend of the show. But man, this one was especially fun because we got to celebrate his brand new music video for Stranded. This aired on Friday, May 17th. Here you go. Well, I don't have to say too much by way of introduction for tonight's special guest. He's become a good friend of the show over the years, and this year especially, as we've celebrated his latest solo record, Breathing Fire. It's always a pleasure to have the one and only Jesse James Dupree on the show. Jesse, thank you so much for hanging, man.
Brother Chuck, the Reverend of Rock out there spreading the word. It's good to talk to you.
Let's go, man. So listen, tonight we're celebrating the release of the latest music video from Breathing Fire. The first music video from Breathing Fire, is that a better way to put it?
Well, I mean, I did some videos for Never Gets Old that were, one was just us in the, clips of us in the studio, going through the motions and doing our thing of recording and that kind of stuff. And that was because everything was just happening so fast, the record wasn't even planned to be a record, right? And in the way it all happened with Brian Johnson from AC/DC popping into my life again after not talking to him for about 6 months because he'd been out doing his book tour and stuff. But the way it all that, and then Nigel walking in, my son who played drums on the record, he walked in from Nashville and at a time that it just all happened. So anyway, same thing with the videos. Things have just happened, and so we did put a couple of videos out around the songs "Never Gets Old." But nothing like what we've got for Stranded.
Yeah, so this is just a massive music video for Stranded, and we've got the video on the Loudwire app and at loudwire.com. And I just have to say, if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you don't have any distractions. You dim the lights, you get the popcorn, you sit back and watch, because it's a music video unlike any I've seen recently. And Jesse, there's so much to the video, so I just have to ask, where did the initial idea of this video? It's almost a short Western film. Where did this idea come from?
Well, the song, it came, obviously, to start with, it came from the song that's a very personal song for me. And, and there's a story for me, it's a deep story and a deep meaning, none of which that I sat down and said, okay, I'm going to write a deep song. It was just personal experience that add up to a song, or kind of make some great, like When Will It Rain off the first Jackal album. I mean, it's one of those songs that came from a place of, I'd say, of desperation or that moment in time where you are. And over the years, I never really told anyone where it came from for me. And the beautiful part about that is When Will It Rain has thus meant so much for other people, for their adversities they've overcome, or the situations they've been in, or whatever the moments in life they either celebrate or that impacted them, or whatever the case may be. But this song came about, and I almost didn't consider it to be part of this body of work because it did kind of set aside. But then through personal experiences and things that all came together and came to a head, the song shaped up in the 11th hour of putting the record together. And when I hear the song, it impacts me every single time because it does mean a lot to me. Without getting into all of this, I want it to mean what it means to people. Yeah, and I think that but as far as the video goes, much like the album, Chuck, the video just happened. Yeah. And we were out shooting some Full Throttle stuff, because we have the Full Throttle saloon out in Sturgis, South Dakota, and that you're going to be there with us this August. And that's right. It's just an amazing experience for anyone to go to that part of the United States. I mean, the Black Hills of South Dakota are a magic place, and they're also a humble place when you think about all the BS that's going on in this country with our government and with the economy and with all the things that we're dealing with. When you go out there and you look at that area of this country, and whether it be Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse, Deadwood, Devil's Tower, the Badlands, the Full Throttle, so just all these amazing places, if you can't stand there and be humble and proud of this country in spite of these jerks that are running things into the ground or trying to divide us, and when everybody gets out there, regardless of political views or regardless of economic status or rich, poor, whatever, there's a common bond in celebrating that freedom that you experience out there. And if you're sitting right now listening to this interview, you're probably having an impossible time, if you've never been there, fathoming what I say. But Chuck, you've now witnessed it, and you can testify until you go stand out there and take it all in, you don't know how it's going to impact your life, but it will.
That's right, man. And I just got goosebumps as you said that. Cause we broadcasted from Sturgis last year from the Pappy Hoyle campgrounds, from Full Throttle Saloon, and in the midst of all of this beauty. And the amazing thing too is, like you said, if you haven't been there, it's hard to fathom. Well, this music video kind of captures it in the matter of a few minutes.
Yeah, it captures the beauty. And so what happened? We were out shooting some stuff for the Full Throttle, and I decided, since I had an incredible camera director and director of photography as well, and his name's Tristan Bernard. And I asked Tristan, I said, "Hey, if I stay an extra day, can we shoot a video for Stranded?" And so. Matter of fact, there's several things that had already led me out there. One of which was one of your teammates, Kevin. It actually was talking about what it made, the visual he had with it, with the old Western theme and such. So Tristan said, "Yeah, let's do it." So we find a guy that had a place out in the prairie that he said we could go out and build a fire, and so we go out at 4:30 in the morning and we build this fire. And I'm the old, going back to the old Clint Eastwood era of dress with, from the old the old the spaghetti westerns that he used to do and such.
Yeah.
And so I adopted that clothing and that mindset. And we go out and we get on the prairie and we build this fire, and we're shooting in the dark out on this prairie, not really seeing what's around us until the sun starts coming up. And when the sun starts coming up, I've got this buddy of mine that I said, "Hey, I need a couple of horses." And he goes, "I've got a couple of horses." And I said, "Really, what colors are they?" And he goes, "Well, one's a white one and the other one's a dark one." And I went, "That's exactly what I need," because the song references the dark horse. And when you hear the song, you'll understand, it'll mean what it means to you. But so he brings his white horse and his dark horse, and we go out to the prairie, we set a fire, and then as the sun's coming up, we said, "Well, they're going to shoot me riding up to the top of this mountain range, or this hillside." And so they do that, and then they're dragging the cameras. I mean, it's 30 below. I mean, we're freezing our ass off. I mean, it was like soaping cold. You don't even know. I mean, it's that South Dakota cold. I mean, it was snow still. So I go to the top of this, and here comes 100 buffalo. I mean, it's like if you'd have told somebody, "I want to shoot a video, go make sure we got 100 buffalo that come." I mean, it's like I couldn't afford it. I mean, if I had to pay for this video, it would have been $500,000. It's like to wrangle all the stuff, between transporting the horses and getting the horses and the outfits and the locations and the buffalo and just all this stuff. So then, we go up there, and then here we are, we're shooting these amazing buffalo, which are just the most incredible, precious animals ever. They'll kill you. I mean, I had to be careful because those bulls, they're protective over their herd, and they'll charge you. And here I am on a horse, close enough that it was scary. But so anyway, so we got that, and then just one thing unfolded after the day, and I get to you this one part of the story because it's a lengthy one. But the one part of the story that you'll appreciate was this guy named Barney. We call him Barney the Sign Guy. He's like a character off of Green Acres TV show, and he puts up all the signs at the Full Throttle. So he and I. He's the one that I got the horses from. And so then we head toward Deadwood, the legendary Deadwood. And I'm saying, I just want to find an old Western type bar to shoot. So he takes me to this one place. He's friends with this woman, and we go in. She owns the bar. 11 o'clock in the morning, she's drunk as a skunk, sitting at the bar. And she's, sitting there drinking her beer. And I'm going, well, this bar doesn't really work because it looked like more 1920s. And then she goes, "Oh, well, you can go shoot downstairs." And I said, "What's downstairs?" She goes, "Oh, that's where the original Wild Bill got shot." Wild Bill Hickok. And I went, "What?" And so we go downstairs, and there's the original. I'm standing on the ground that Wild Bill got shot, and she let us use it to shoot so the whole video. So we're in the middle of that, and we're getting caught up in it. And then I start worrying about the horses. I'm going, "Oh man, I'm an ass. These horses are freezing out in the freezing. They got to get back to their barn." So we go and try to find Barney, my sign guy, from the Full Throttle, and we go find Barney. Barney's drunk as a skunk, up chatting up some woman at a poker machine, and we're going, "Barney, we got to get the horses back to the barn." And he's going, "I'm staying here." And I'm going, "No, we got to get the horses back." So then I'm trying to follow him, and he's weaving all over the road with a horse trailer. And then we get up to this national park exit, and he just whoops off the road out into the middle of the national park. And then we ended up shooting on the dry riverbed, the snow-covered riverbed. So the whole video just happened, included all the way back to the end of the video, where we're finally getting drunk Barney back to the horses, back to the stable. And then here's here's this beautiful sunset. So the video just happened, just like the record, in the spirit of the album. So I'm very proud of it. And I couldn't have afforded to do it if I'd had to pay for it. I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, I mean, and you wouldn't have even dreamt to script a video like this. You know, oh, let's get the 100 Buffalo. Let's go to where Wild Bill was shot. Like all of these things, the fact that they just happened just makes the video that much cooler as you watch it.
Well, I know you live by this the same as I do, but it's just those little things in life that lets you know you're living right. Seriously, it just got it was so blessed that the way the day folded out, and the story told itself. All that I really knew was that I wanted a white horse and a dark horse, and I wanted to be pulling the dark horse with an empty saddle, and the rest of it unfolded, and that to me is so rock and roll. I mean, it's just, those are those magic moments, and again, all of that's great, and it means something, and I think it just adds to what's beautiful about the song. But I'm really getting back to it. I'm really just I'm proud for folks to go and listen to it, and I actually sang right here where I'm standing right now. I sang the album right here, and I recorded. I don't see the microphone sitting in here, but I recorded different than I ever have before in this room. I came in here, I turned the lights down, and I had the microphone up, and I didn't sing into the microphone like you're sitting there with your mic now.
Yeah,
I didn't do that. I mean, I did Frank Sinatra style. I just had the mic in the room, and I just kind of sang in the room here, and it was so liberating compared to any other album I've ever done, because I wasn't inhibited to wrench down, and if I was powering up, I'd whatever, and I just wasn't focused on trying to keep my mouth on the mic. I just sang into the room, and then we just pulled it all in once we mixed it, and it just. I don't know. I think the whole thing is, for me, is special, and I hope that everybody finds something special in it as well, because it means a lot to me, and I hope it means a lot to them.
Well, and I really respect too that you say it's a personal song for you, but you're not diving into what that means for you, because you want other people to hear it in their own way, in their own personal way.
Well, that's what, it's like me sitting there going, you should vote Democrat or you should vote Republican.
Right, yeah.
Who wants to hear some musician talk about politics? I'll leave that to them, Bruce Springsteen and Bono. Somebody just think they can write songs that can cure cancer. I don't give a damn how they vote. I want to hear Bruce sing Born to Run and get the hell off the stage. I've said that a million times, but I really don't give a damn about what their politics are. And I don't think anybody should care what my politics are. It's like, this is rock and roll. You bust your knuckles 40, 50 hours a week or more, or you go through, as a musician, you go through life experiences and you try to capture them, that the essence of that in a song. And it could be about knocking the old dirty out in the backseat of a Chevy, or it could be about something that adversity that you overcome. But who the hell wants to hear about somebody standing? I don't want to go to a concert and hear somebody preach at me about how I should vote or what.
Yeah. Or how they should hear a song, or what it should mean to them, or whatever. Like, that's up to the listener.
I will preach that everybody should come to Sturgis, because I'd love to have
brother.
everybody out at Full Throttle Saloon, and I'd love for you to come out there and imagine the fiber of the man and woman that loaded, up on a horse and buggy and with a family, or, kids or whatever. And imagine, go out there and stand, and you can still, there's places right there by the Full Throttle Saloon, you can still see the wagon tracks in, where they crossed the old Bismarck Trail coming through there. And when you think about the fiber of the men and women that settled this country and what they went through to push out that way. And you think about the story of how the gold rush, basically was the catalyst for that whole part of the country coming to go, because we'd pushed all the Native Americans up there to that part of the country. And there's a book called Killing Crazy Horse that I would suggest everybody go read before they come to Sturgis. But yeah, it's, again, the video shot out there, and it does capture, as you said, it does capture a lot of the beauty. And Tristan did a phenomenal job of capturing it with his camera. And I was, like I say, blessed for it all to play out like it did.
And the song really does stand out on the album. And I don't mean that like, it feels out of place. It does stand out as, it's got a different approach to how it opens and all of that. Like, the rest of the album is very straightforward, unadulterated, 100% pure rock and roll, inspired by, those early AC/DC records that I know influenced you to make this record. And then Stranded, it does have this this different type of weight, kind of like When Will It Rain? And so I think it has a perfect place on the album, and I can't wait 10 years from now for people to still be talking about this song, just like people talk about When Will It Rain 30 years later. You know,
thank you. Well, you got Slash. I know you're doing some stuff with Slash as well, and Slash just enjoyed being able to perform with Brian Johnson from AC/DC, and so both Slash and I are in a limited club of people that's worked with Brian, because I mean, AC/DC just doesn't really do that. So I'm proud of Slash, and what a great blues record that he's made. So that's really cool. And then the other thing that all ties together is here it is Friday night. And the Stranded video is debuting. I'm talking to you, my brother, and guess what else is happening?
What's that?
Brian Johnson and AC/DC are doing their first official tour dates in Germany tonight. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, tonight is Brian, and I'm so proud for him, because I know he's back where he belongs, you know. And the California show was great, and a little preview to the fact that, you know, that Brian and Angus are back together. But yeah, they're starting a big tour, and they're going to be over in Europe for almost 3 months now. So it's good. I'm so. Are you
going to pack your bags and head to Europe, man?
It's hard not to, but man, Sturgis is going to be here before you know it. We've got Jackal's playing a Myrtle Beach Bike Week coming up, and we set a huge record for that last year, and we plan on doing it again this year. I just released some new Jesse James 90 proof Jesse James bourbon and Tennessee whiskey, and so I've got that going on. We got a big bottle signing going on up in the Myrtle Beach Bike Week at Suck Bang Blow, where we're playing, and then I've got some scattered dates between now and getting up to bring the Full Throttle back to life, because you know the winter's hard on that place up there.
Yeah,
and so we're going to have it ready for everybody to be shining like a new penny, and got a great year lined up.
Listen, I can't let this conversation end without us talking about this. So, you know, not only have we been celebrating your album this year, but you gave Loudwire Nights a one-of-a-kind contest. And it was the Rockstar Weekend contest. We flew out a listener. His name was Blake, lived in the Pacific Northwest. We flew him to Wisconsin. You and I picked him up from the airport, and then we spent a couple days on the Breathing Fire and Loudwire Nights tour bus, and we did the VIP thing at some of your solo shows in Wisconsin and Michigan. And I just have to say this out loud, man. I don't think many rock stars are out there who are excited to open their tour buses to radio dope like me and to some random contest winner, and yet you're not like many rock stars, man. And that was truly just an incredible weekend, and I know it's something Blake is going to hold on to for a long, long time, and it's something I think about every day still, man. It was such a fun time.
Well, thank you for saying that, and you're using the term rock star very loosely when you're putting me in. I'm just a lucky son of a bitch that I get to wake up every day and not pour concrete. So
there you go, man. Yeah.
So I'm blessed every day, but yeah, I mean, think about, both of us, I know that you're proud of it. I'm proud. I mean, I'm so proud that I think that it meant as much as it did to Blake. I mean, that I don't think that, I mean, out of all your listeners and such, I mean, it was truly it was a great bonding thing. I mean, he came out, and I mean, we got to hear some of the adversities and stuff he's been going through like everybody else, and with his work. He literally quit his job.
I know, man. We talked about it on the show. I know.
He quit his job to come out with us, but it wasn't just he quit his job to come out with us. He was obviously in a place that he was kind of stressed anyway, and he needed a kick in the ass to want to go and pursue the next step in his life, in his career, and this was kind of a sign to him to, you know what, I'm stepping away from this, because you know I'm going to go and do some better stuff, and then he came out with us, and that guy, I mean, he just I didn't even hardly know he was there. He just jumped in and became kind of one of the members of the band like you did, and it's just so it's I mean I don't know, I love making memories, and I love making memories with other people. So and you friends, so it was great. I appreciate you. You guys wrapping around and doing that and celebrating the new record. It's a good day.
Jesse James Dupree, thank you so much for hanging, man, and congrats on the release of this new music video for Stranded. The video's just amazing. The song itself is amazing too, and we're playing that tonight. We've got the video, everything on the Loudwire app and at loudwire.com. And listen, make sure you catch Jesse, Jackal, everybody on the road as many times as you possibly can this year. Check out the full tour schedule at jessejamesdupree.com and jackal.com. And Jesse, you know, I think I'll be up in Sturgis this year, and we got to figure out how to bring some listeners with us, man.
I'm going to leave you with a challenge, and I think that we got to be figuring out what we can do to keep your listeners involved here. If you're listening to the show right now, and you want to figure out what you can do to come and hang with Chuck up in Sturgis or whatever, I want you to let Chuck know that he can't be sitting back on his lazy ass. He's got to keep the fire burning here, and we got to come up. So I'm challenging you right now to figure out something we can do around Loudwire being in Sturgis and celebrating a freedom like nobody even knows. There's all kind of stuff going on out there. Whether you ride a motorcycle or not, you will not want for nothing. We have 600 acres of off the hook and Olympic-sized swimming pool. You can hang out up there all day and run around with Chuck in y'all Speedos and stuff. So
that's right. Yeah.
No, but the Loudwire night Speedos. We need to come up with a Loudwire tent and stock it with something and let somebody win it. But listen, we're going to do some fun stuff because that's what we do. Loudwire nights. Appreciate you, Chuck, and thanks everybody. Check out Stranded. I'm very proud of it, and let me know what you think about it on some of my socials there.
That wraps up this episode of Loudwire Nights on Demand. Stay caught up with everything happening in the world of rock and metal on the Loudwire app and at loudwire.com.